Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Happy New Year. I hope all of you had beautiful birthdays, and I hope you had a beautiful holiday season. All right, Sag, this one was like, wow, why? What's going on? So let's get into this. Believe from Alice, strange encounters, and then you pulled ruminate from Whispers of Healing. Why, though, is it that when you have an encounter, you think that it's strange? And why is it associated with negativity? Because that's basically what this is saying. So believe. This is talking about you meeting people that are very unlike anybody you have met before, mystic events and peculiar experiences. It could be that, you're meeting somebody new, but it's like mystical the way that it happens, and it's really strange. It almost seems like it's a fated event. But when you look at ruminate, it asks a ton of questions. I mean, the whole first part of this card is asking all these different questions. So let me just get into this. It says, take note of how you take on the energy around you. Do you tend to immerse yourself in unconstructive energy? Are you taking responsibility for a situation that really has nothing to do with you? Do you hold yourself in reproach for circumstances you have no control over? This might include feeling somehow responsible for inclement weather or someone else's bad mood. It makes no sense, yet you feel you played a role in it. Are you spending an unwarranted amount of time thinking about other people's situations? Self-examination is one of the ways of identifying whether you are engaging in negative thinking. And then it goes into how negative thinking about yourself may be downplaying the situations that you are encountering. It talks about you apologizing constantly for things, putting yourself in front of others and allowing them to laugh at your own expense, like bad humor, self-deprecating humor is what it talks about. It makes me wonder if this situation isn't, so like amped up and so weird that you immediately think that you are, not worthy of it, or you're just wrapped up in negative thinking about it, not believing in the mystical, so to speak, right? In the things that are just strange events. But it's almost like you immediately get down on yourself about it. All right, Sagittarius, here's your overall. Oh my God, you and Gemini. Death. All right. With death being the overall, there is something in your life that is coming to an end for a reason, right? And with the new year, it makes sense, getting rid of the old and opening up to the new. But something needs to go away. And I always say with death, we can either accept it or go kicking and screaming, but it's happening. You don't have a choice. Now, unfortunately, sometimes death can show that, we've been staying in situations that we know are over with because we don't want to face the kind of change that we know we need to go through. But, again, it's transformation, a new life. But something has to come to an end here. But you may be experiencing it in a really difficult way because death is never an easy thing. Now, in the past, I'm telling you, I shuffle the shit out of these decks, but I swear to God, some of the things that are popping up with some of the signs, it just kind of blows me away. So the Five of Pentacles is the past. Who else had that? I can't remember. I don't know why I bother trying. And that little nibbling you hear in the background, those would be my babies. If you know anything about me, you know I love rats. And I hit the jackpot for Christmas. But anyway, Sagittarius. In the past, the Five of Pentacles can show that you were dealing with some financial issues. Maybe there was some financial loss. You may be having to change a big part of your life in order to recover. We could be talking about, you being left out of a situation. It could be that somebody is trying to come back into your life. Rejection shows up with this, but we'll see. Okay, in the present, the Ten of Wands. So if you have been cast out or rejected, the Ten of Wands is going to show in the present moment that my God, that is still weighing on you. Okay, so you're still carrying around this burden. And it's not that easy for you to just drop it. Now, again, talking about taking responsibility for things, you may be doing this and it may not be your responsibility to bear. But then the other thing, though, too, is that while all of these things are weighing on you, it may be one of those things where allowing somebody back in may be too much. There may be too much pressure on you to, feel like you have to do this. But the thing is the situation is over with. But if you continue it, is it going to be over with in a more difficult way with death, like needing to learn a lesson again almost? Oh, Sag. Okay, so future conditions, the Lovers. And with death, yeah, we could be talking about the end of a major relationship, or we could be talking about you making a choice in regards to a relationship that is going to lead to big change. Now, death can show that we can't go back to the way things were. So if something is changing within a relationship, it's going to have to do with that Five of Pentacles where you were not in the know, or where you have been like rejected or cast out. That's not something that you want to deal with again, especially if you're making the choice here to, despite the burden, work on a relationship, right? Wow. Your best path to follow is strength. Needing to find your inner courage and your inner strength here. And don't hold yourself back, right? We can't force anything, though, either. But do you have the strength to let go of the burdens that have been placed on you, possibly because of a relationship? Because I really think that that's what this is about. Now, if we are talking about something financial here, it may be that you are not getting what you are worth. The money that you make and the responsibility that you take on is just not enough. It's not enough to pay the bills. And with the Lovers, it may be that you need to make a major choice in what you love and what you put value in. And maybe there needs to be a major change, and you're going to have to find the strength to do that. But, for me, I think that this is something that's going to have to do directly with the way someone has treated you in the past and how a relationship has went. Oh, in your environment, the Eight of Cups, and that's what I'm kind of talking about, especially with death being the overall. Sometimes we stay with something when we know that, it's just, it needs to be over with. But I think that the Eight of Cups in this case is showing, especially with the Ten of Wands, that, you may feel a responsibility to someone to, give them the benefit of the doubt almost, and maybe see if a different choice can be made. But I look at that Eight of Cups and think that at some point you were considering leaving this and just letting it go. But I think that there may be something holding you back. I worry a little bit about death being the overall, though. But we'll see as far as how this happens in the outcome. But you weren't getting what you needed, And the thing is did you actually move on, though, right? Why is it that you're needing to face death right now? Because if you actually moved on, this wouldn't be the overall, But I don't like that the Ten of Wands is attached to that, Your hopes and your fears, the Knight of Pentacles. So the fear there would be that no progress is being made. The hope there is that, eventually things will start to change. But we can be talking about somebody who is very stubborn and maybe is having difficulty in changing. They may be trying, though, to show that they're willing to put in the effort here. But we're talking about, a slow-moving situation for sure. And then I look at it from your perspective and I think, if this is something that you're used to, then is it worth it? Is it worth, having that kind of determination if you're not going to see any progress? I kind of feel like with the Ten of Wands, right, this has happened one too many times. But there is this burden of responsibility, and that may be stopping you from moving on, though, with the Eight of Cups. But like I said, the hope there would be that eventually we start to see progress. Now, it could be that, in terms of a relationship with the Lovers, the hope there would be that, maybe we can at least be friends, right? And making progress in a different way, because something is definitely coming to an end here. It needs to change. You can't go back to how things were. And then coming out, you have you and Temperance, right? I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that, your own inner balance and harmony is more important here than making any kind of a major choice here in terms of a relationship, especially if there's too much being built up around it. And then not only that, but you considering, moving on from this and letting it go. and you needing to find the strength to kind of like end the situation for you so that you don't repeat the same situation where you're rejected or left out, you know. But, you know, again, temperance, right? Not being too passionate, not being too emotional here. There, I think, is still a lot of happiness to be had, but only if this person is willing to make big changes, because clearly you're going to have to. You can't have the situation be the same, and it won't be, not with death being there. But we could be talking about somebody who is slowly making changes here with the Knight of Pentacles, but we need to see some progress first. But in the meantime, don't force yourself to do anything here, and don't, you know, lose control, like especially with strength being there. There's a big call for you to just kind of like detach yourself almost from the situation here and give yourself a minute to think about things, you know. So and that may be where the strangeness is coming through here with believe and then ruminate. But looking at the Ten of Pentacles with the Five of Pentacles, this could have been a very difficult situation where it seemed secure. You thought you were in a long-lasting situation, but clearly that was taken from you with the Five of Pentacles. But if you are temperate and you stay calm, is it possible here that we can get back to, you know, this overall security? There are endings all over the place here. And with the Two of Cups, yeah, we are talking about a relationship here. But with the Ten of Wands, you know, you can't be the only one carrying the responsibility of, you know, making sure that the relationship works, right? And this is about two people understanding each other. But there's so much burden with this. And is it financial, though, too, you know? And it may be that you can't be the rock for someone else anymore because they've kind of like burnt that bridge with you, if that makes sense. Because with the Eight of Cups, this is clearly a relationship that you've considered moving on from for a while. But the burden of responsibility may have to do with, you know, financial security and stability. But the Ten of Cups, you know, I look at that and I think there's still, you know, this feeling of the happily ever after. There's the potential there if you don't act too quickly to have this overall happiness. Now, maybe though, in order to have this overall happiness, maybe the situation does need to come to an end, but it is based on the major choice you are about to make in your life involving a relationship here. And you cannot do it from a place of not being balanced. So even if that means you have to hold off for a minute before you make any kind of major choice, then so be it. But it's not like the Hangman here. It's just that we can't rush this choice. But I don't think that, you know, you can be the rock for somebody else anymore. I think that they need to show too that there are major changes happening with them, you know, not just with you, right? And if you're not seeing a difference, then again, death is saying that maybe this is, you know, one too many times here. This is not a lesson you need to go through again. And maybe the only way to reach that happily ever after is to just say goodbye and open yourself up to something new. So renewal, there is definitely going to be a renewal. The thing is like I said, with death, it's not an easy thing, you know. But once you have this renewal, there are going to be areas in your life that are going to flourish in ways that I don't think that you expected. But it is so important that you pay attention to your inner voice and what your inner voice is telling you when it comes to what you want in your life and what is going to bring you this feeling of renewal and things flourishing. Breaking trail, a breakthrough is at hand, and voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. I swear to God, I know how to read. But once there is this breakthrough in your life, you're going to be able to follow where love is leading you, I think, a little bit more easily. But it, like I said, it may be that in order for you to find overall happiness, you're going to have to find the equilibrium and the strength here to end this and go through this change. You know, we can't cling on to this anymore or carry the burden of responsibility. This is difficult. But I think that you need to be open to different experiences, though, too. Instead of staying with one that doesn't change, you know, especially if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't show that they have the capacity to change. But I would say that Sag, your overall happiness lies, first of all, within you, but you're going to have to find the courage to do what's right here, even if that means walking away.